Hey YouTube, welcome back to my workshop. I'm going to get started on my welding table tonight. I'll probably mostly be flux core welding because that's what I'm sort of best at. Not that I'm not great at it, but that's what I'm best at so far. So it turns out the wall thickness of this bottom piece of square tubing is actually quite a bit thicker than the top, which is quite thin. I think any welding I do on the top, I'm going to use my flux core because like I said, I'm better at it. But this bottom, it's not an 1/8 inch, a little less than an 1/8 inch. Whoops, I'm not in the shot, but so I do think I'm going to attempt to stick weld these bottom two pieces together.
Oh yeah, because you're trying to do vertical up.
And I can't even do horizontal. This is acting kind of weird. Dang. Oh no. This is day 2 that I'm working on it now, so I'm gonna take this piece of scrap from Brandon's tailgate build that he built on his old Ford Ranger, which he has now sold, and a couple other scraps that I have laying around, and I'm going to make this as wide as I have the scraps for, in terms of from those legs to these legs. Alright, so this is the shorter piece of the 2 lengths of scrap I'm going to use to be the cross members for this. So I'm going to have to cut this longer piece down. They are 2 different sizes. They're even 2 different wall thicknesses. This is fairly thick, where this is fairly thin. So I'm gonna have to cut this down, and then I'm gonna weld them probably somewhere right here-ish. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the flux core welder with these, the Century FC-90, because this metal is pretty thin, and I'm not real confident with Amico 160D, the stick welder. So I'm going to flux core weld them together, get them all prepped up. Yeah, I do. Alright, so I'm going to put them 16 inches up. Alright, so I've gone ahead and done a few welds with the camera turned off. I'll show you them all after I'm done. I'll probably lose a few subscribers after that, but I had a pretty good gap here. I guess I didn't realize that this side had been cut by Brandon with a grinder when he was making his tailgate, and he didn't cut it real straight, so I should have gone and kind of cleaned that end up too. But now I'm already most of the way through this, so I'm going to try to use this 6013, yeah, 6013 1/8 inch rod here try to plug this large gap and see what I can do. Again, this metal is so thin that I don't know that I'm going to be able to do it, but I figured I'll go ahead and give it a try. I'll turn the amperage up a little bit. Got it real low right now because I'm trying not to burn through. Yeah, just nasty. Nasty. I'm gonna have to try and fill it up and grind it down and fill it up and grind it down. I don't know, it's gonna be a mess. Well, I guess comparatively, it turned out okay for what it was. All right, day 3 of the welding table build. So, I think I explained in the last section that I may or may not have cut out when I get to editing, but when I welded the pieces back together, the U-shaped parts of this welding table, geez, I can't orient myself. Anyway, they ended up welding out a little bit like that, so like 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch off from being just right. So I'm using this ratchet strap. I used the come along earlier, but I think this ratchet strap is going to work a little bit better to pull these things together while I tack weld it. All right, so I've got this marked at 20.5 inches. I'm going to do the same thing on both sides, cut them down, and then weld them up. So I had a realization the other night when I was working on this. I'm using 035 wire. If I was using 030, I'd probably have a little bit better luck. But I turned down the amperage and the wire feed speed a little more than I was the other night. I think I might have it dialed in probably just fine. Alright, based on how I'm struggling, I'm going to change out to the 030 wire. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I don't think I'm going to film it just because it's the same thing, but then I'll bring you back. hopefully this is the last time I have to weld on my wooden workbench. Alright YouTube, so that's pretty much it. Basically the last thing for me to do is get the casters. I'm going to get the casters on, well not tomorrow because I got to buy them tomorrow when I head down to the hill. Sorry, head down the hill for the Phoenix area. I could get them in the next town over that has many more stores than we do. But we're heading down to the valley for something else. So anyway, I'll pick up some casters there, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright YouTube, this is the final day working on this welding table I'm building. I'm just going to be installing the casters on it today so that I can move it around my shop. Well, it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It wheels right around the shop just fine. Move it into its spot here in the corner. And there we go. In its place. So if this is your first time here and you just came across this video while you're on YouTube, please click subscribe for more projects like this one. It was a pretty good one. I feel like I did an overall decent job. The welds didn't all come out very pretty. That's usual for me. Still learning. I don't proclaim to be a welder. I just do it in my shop for fun mostly. And I video it and post it to YouTube. So yeah, hope to get some good use out of this welding table and do future projects on it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to go down and hit like, leave a comment, and watch more of my content.